From Harrah's in Atlantic City, New Jersey, a very special night for the world's oldest and greatest sport. It's the inaugural draft of the Championship League of American Wrestling. Hello and welcome to the draft. Glad to have all of you in attendance, and also want to thank those of you watching on X, on YouTube, and live on Flow Wrestling. So what is CLAW Wrestling? CLAW Wrestling is points, and more points. It's the best of freestyle. It's the best of folk style. Some really cool, innovative rules. But this style of wrestling will exhaust the scoreboard. What do we have for you tonight? We have the first 4 rounds. 24 wrestlers will hear their name called. Tomorrow at 8 Eastern, rounds 5 through 8. There are 6 teams, and this draft was determined by a random draw. It is a snake draft, which means it will go in reverse order after the first round. You see the Cicadas, they have the number 1 pick. In the next half hour, we'll hear from a couple of the superstars of this draft. Zane Rutherford, along with Zach Elam, 38 years young. Reese Humphrey will join us as well. We'll also hear from a couple of the general managers, Caden Henschel, and Curran's Iowa superstar Angelo Ferrari, the GM for the Leopards. Our events will be in October, and 2 teams will battle for Super Duel 1, that is late November, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. For further analysis, going to send it down to the BEG table with Zach Beaver and 3-time national qualifier from Campbell, Dom Zacconi.
Thanks, Shane. Could not be more excited to be part of what is going to be a truly historical event tonight. And this is exactly what the sport of wrestling needs, Dom. You can see the anticipation behind me building. How do you feel tonight?
This is so incredible. The first time we're going to see a draft like this ever in wrestling. I'm excited to see what goes down today.
Everyone's looking forward to Caden Henschel, the Cradle City Cicadas, number 1 overall pick. But before we get there, Dom, let's take a look at maybe some of the names that we need to know going into the draft tonight. Here are 7 names. I got to start with Zane Rutherford. He's a number 1 overall consensus, number 1 overall pick. How do you feel about that, Dom?
That is a name you need to know in this draft. He is a clear number 1 overall. After him, I think Max Murin is another one we need to look at. Max, 2-time All-American, 2-time state champ. He's not a sleeper in this draft whatsoever. Last but not least, I think Matt Stencil is an incredible pick for a team here tonight. 2-time All-American, 74 pins, 133 college career wins. Isn't that insane?
That's impressive. And those are just a few names of the wrestlers that we're going to see drafted tonight. 4 rounds tonight, folks. 24 wrestlers getting drafted. And looks like we're going back to the draft board, Tom. Let's see.
The Cradle City Cicadas with the number 1 pick. As we get a look at the draft rules and the order of the drafts. 4 rounds, as I mentioned tonight, the snake draft. First 2 rounds, 4 minutes in between picks. Our 3rd round will have 3 minutes. And the 4th round tonight, 2 minutes in between picks. Number 1 pick, the Cicadas. Their general manager, Caden Henschel, earlier today spoke with Zach Beaver.
You have the first pick in the inaugural CLAW Wrestling draft tonight. Is there any type of strategy that you have? And is Zane Rutherford a lock to go number 1?
Yeah, no, this is a huge responsibility. I mean, the thing is, everyone's saying, pick Zane. And as there are so many different, options on the table, it's like, can he really wrestle with the CLAW rules? Does this make the most sense? I mean, he's pretty close to a lock. But again, there's that thing in the back of my mind that's like, hey, what if I choose someone else? So we'll see.
Okay, well, Zane's the number 1 pick that everyone's looking at, but what type of wrestler are you looking for? Are there any certain characteristics that you're looking for in a wrestler when you draft them? Because this is a slightly different style of wrestling match.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I think the big thing is putting people away. So we need pinners. I mean, we need points up on that board. So people who can rack up points and who are just offensive, the whole time. That's what I want on my team.
Okay. Now, we have a lot of Division II and Division III and wrestlers outside of Division I in this draft. Caden, obviously, you're very familiar. How do you feel that these wrestlers are going to do in this league?
Yeah, I think it's super cool. I will say, I mean, why not do better than if it's just, if it was a folk style or freestyle match? I mean, different rule set, everyone's kind of learning along the way, but also people are here to let it fly. Anything can happen. When these guys are hungry, they're wrestling, they got something to prove. So I think a lot of these guys are going to be dangerous.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Caden. I want to wish you the best of luck tonight with the number 1 overall pick. Folks, he is the general manager of the Cradle City Cicadas, Caden Henschel. So we are back to the live coverage.
We are just under a half an hour away from the number 1 pick. It'll be made by Caden Henschel. It's a fired up crowd here in Atlantic City. It's the inaugural draft of the Championship League of American Wrestling here inside Harrah's.
The 2025 CLAW Draft is brought to you by Spartan Combats, Dalamer Sports Surfaces, and by Wolfgang Supplements. Leads a team. It's madness, and we love it. Who saw that coming, Mike? Boom, boom, boom. The scoreboard is exhausted.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking
about our honeymoon.
What about Africa? Safari.
Hot air balloon ride.
Swim with elephants.
Wait, can we afford a safari?
Great question. Like everything, takes a little planning.
Or put the money towards a down payment?
On a ranch?
In Montana?
With horses.
Let's take a look at those scenarios.
JP Morgan Wealth Management has advisors in Chase branches and tools like Wealth Plan to help keep you on track. When you're planning for it all, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
Back here in Atlantic City for the inaugural draft of CLAW. Special guest, Zane Rutherford, 3-time national champion, along with Zach Elam, a 2-time All-American for Missouri. Zane, we'll start with you. It's been a while since we've seen you. What led you to wrestle to CLAW?
A few things. The first event is in State College, so right where I live. Super pumped about that. And there's like a mixed rule set that it's folk style based. And so I haven't wrestled folk style since college. Super excited to compete in folk style.
Zach, you're more familiar with the rule set from the standpoint of you wrestled in CLAW. We had an event last June in Virginia. You had a big win against Tay Gadiali, who's now at Michigan. What do you remember from that match, and what did you like about the rule set?
Yeah, I just really enjoyed the excitement of the pylons and the new scoring and winning periods, and just the whole experience in general, the team aspect of the Cicadas versus the Enforcers at the time. It was all just a great trip and a great duel. And, you know, the match I had last year, hopefully it gives me enough experience and knowledge going into this year to be ready. So I'm excited.
Zane, you mentioned folk-style wrestling. You were an absolute monster. You've given guys nightmares thinking about wrestling Zane Rutherford with you in that top position. With this rule set and being back on top, just speak to the importance of your top game.
Yeah, I mean, the rule set, too, the periods are pretty quick, so it's important to get your action going pretty quickly, so I'm excited about that. And, yeah, I mean, I haven't competed and been able to wrestle folk-style top in a long time, and I'm excited for it.
Well, looking forward to hearing both your names called tonight. Thank you so much. Zane Rutherford and Zach Elam. Let's send it back down to the BEG table.
All right, let's take a look at our top 7 pound-for-pound ranked wrestlers in this draft, Dom. And I got to start with Zane. However, before I go into it, I must say it was a little difficult to rank these wrestlers given that it's a combination of freestyle and folk style. This might not necessarily translate to the most points scored for their team. However, Zane is the consensus number 1 overall.
I totally agree with you. Zane is number 1 overall in all of our eyes. I think it's just such a great mix of the competitors we have on this board, and so deep. In 199, we have 3 guys, 2, 3, and 4. Nate Jackson. Nate Jackson, I think, is a sleeper. He's a little older, but I think he could do really, really well.
Okay, Dom, you're talking about that log jam at 199 where we have the number 2, 3, and 4 ranked wrestlers. I got to mention Mike Machiavello, who just competed in the event earlier today, USA versus Russia, and won, represent America. So you had that log jam. Chris Foca there as well. I got to mention Zach Elam. He won the 2024 CLAW Invitational, is our current number 1 heavyweight pound-for-pound ranked wrestler. I have him on my eyes to go in the first round here.
Don't keep your eyes up at the top. Look down at the bottom. Ian Parker down there at number 7, a CLAW champ from last year.
Okay, a lot of wrestlers to look at here. I actually had a chance to talk to Angelo Ferrari earlier today. Let's hear what his draft strategy was. Angelo Ferrari here with us. You have the 6th and the 7th pick tonight in the inaugural CLAW Wrestling Draft. Angelo, is there any kind of strategy that you have for the draft tonight?
Yeah, so I'm going to be looking for guys that are, in shape, ready to go. Obviously have accomplished great things already and ready to, accomplish more on the next level in this. So, yeah.
Okay, you mentioned in shape. Are there any other characteristics? Because this is a different league. So is there maybe a type of wrestler that you're looking to draft when you're looking at all these wrestlers available?
Yeah, athletic. Obviously, got to be fast, strong, all those type of characteristics. Kind of like me and my brothers, something like that. Good hand fighters, good movement. Those type of characteristics. Obviously. The best guy available is who I'm going to go for. So, I'm ready to and excited to pick the draft picks tonight.
Okay, look, folks, he's looking for characteristics similar to what he has. Athletic, versatile, all the included. Now, one final question, Angelo. Is it true that you wanted to be the general manager of the Leopards just because of the black and gold colors, or is that fake news?
No, that's 100% true. I mean, I got to represent the black and gold. I got the Iowa shirt on. We got the same colorway, so I love it, And yeah, leopard's also one of my favorite animals, so yeah.
Okay. Hey, and we love you, Angelo. Angelo Ferrari, I want to wish you the best of luck tonight in the draft. Folks, he's the general manager of the Leopards. We're going to go back to the live draft coverage here. Thank you, Angelo.
Really excited to be joined by this next guest, Reese Humphrey, 38 years young. Why are you wrestling in CLAW?
Yeah, a lot of people think that I'm pretty crazy for doing this, but having a date on the calendar, something to look forward to, keeps me excited. It motivates me, sleep right, eat right, train right. It makes me a better coach, and I'm just excited to scrap.
You've wrestled at the highest levels, 2-time All-American at Ohio State, 3-time U.S. Open champion, multiple-time world team member. What have you learned throughout the years in this sport?
Well, see, I want to say I've learned a lot more coaching. So I learned a lot as a competitor, but that was such a selfish thing. When I started giving back all the knowledge and learning more from everybody else, I became a lot more vast with my knowledge. And so I learned a lot more coaching. And so you guys think I was good back then? Wait till you see me now.
You were saying before that an event like this gets you a little bit nervous, keeps you focused, and that's a good thing. How have you learned, Reese, both as an athlete and now as a coach, to deal with nerves and pressure?
Well, see, if you're never nervous, then you're never really training for something. You're never putting your toe on the line. You're never putting yourself up for success or failure. So you're really just staying stagnant. So being nervous is a really good thing. And I'm a little bit nervous, not yet, because we don't compete till October 3rd, 4th, 5th. But I'm excited at this point.
Success for you in both folk style and freestyle. This is a combination of the best in freestyle and folk style. What about this rule set do you think will be most beneficial to you?
Top. I'm choosing top. I'm choosing top. People see me as a freestyle wrestler. I didn't have the most success. I was second. I was an NCAA runner-up third, but I didn't win at the highest level until I got older and got into freestyle. But I got so much better at folk style, and nobody's had a chance to see it, so I'm really excited to choose top. I'm taking top.
Well, super excited to watch you, Reese. Thank you so much. Reese Humphrey, looking forward to watching him at 38 years young. I asked him before, I said, Reese, what about those young guys? And you told me they're worrying about you. So looking forward to it. Reese, thank you so much. Now back down to the BEG table, one of the co-founders of CLAW Wrestling, Mr. Tom Houck.
Shane, I'm here with Tom Houck, co-founder of CLAW. Tom, how is CLAW differentiated from other previous professional wrestling league attempts?
It's different in a lot of ways, but I think the overarching theme is that we are putting fans first in all decisions. We really prioritize fans. So things like the draft, free agency, the whole way the league is structured, the fantasy leagues that we're creating, and then, of course, the action on the mat. For 3 years, we've experimented with and tested modified rules to get more action, more scoring, more strategy, more fan engagement, and it's just a lot more fun to watch, and we hope everybody likes it as much as we do.
Tom, how do you know what team to root for?
Well, they're all brand new teams, and so some people have already picked their favorite teams because they like the general manager, but after the draft, everybody will know who's on the roster, and then you can pick your favorite team, and I think it's cool because it's the very first year. You won't be accused of being a bandwagoner. So pick a team, follow them, root for them, cheer for them, wear their merch, and I think it will be fun, and the athletes will appreciate it.
Tom, you have me excited. My only question I have, where and when am I able to watch this?
So the season starts in October. It will be on CLAW Total Access, our new channel, and a lot of matches on Flow Wrestling as well. And then it culminates with Super Duel 1, the championship duel meet, on November 29th in Pittsburgh.
Back here at the draft, really looking forward to watching this guy compete. Peyton Hall, he was a superstar in Morgantown, 3-time All-American for Coach Flynn. When you got the invitation to CLAW, what made this a good fit for you?
One, it's close, so it'll be back in Pittsburgh for the final, and just another opportunity to wrestle. So whenever you enter into the freestyle stuff, there's not a ton of opportunity to wrestle. So it's just anytime I can compete, I'm down.
What do you like about the rule set? Where can you capitalize?
I'm a wrestler on my feet, but I kind of like the pylon rules. We did that. We had some matches at WVU, just some simulation ones, and I thought the pylons were pretty unique. I actually talked to Tom about adding a golden pylon in there, maybe one that's worth a little bit more points.
You're one of the all-time greats in that West Virginia singlets. What are you most proud of when you reflect on the career you had in Morgantown?
Honestly, just the progression I made throughout, the mental changes I made over the years, and just the maturity. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the teammate I was to my guys. So, yeah.
This sport requires a great support system. Cool night for you. You're getting married next May, joined by your fiance tonight and your sister. What have they meant to you?
Oh, they mean everything. It's awesome. They came up here, made a fun weekend out of it, and I appreciate them coming. Love them.
Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the draft.
Yeah,
thank you. The just over 10 minutes away from making that first pick in the draft. Will he make a selection? Will there be any trades? And now let's send it down to the BEG table with Zach and Dom.
All right, we see Caden Henschel on the clock. He's trying to decide what his pick is, but we did just see Peyton Hall's interview. Dom, we've argued he's the greatest West Virginia Mountaineer wrestler of all time. 5-time qualifier, 3-time All-American. That's a name maybe we forgot to mention in our top 7 ranked wrestlers. Who's someone else we're...
I totally agree with you. And another name we're going to look at, Eric Barnett. You know, Eric Barnett could go anywhere in this draft. He is, I think, totally underrated. We don't see him up on the board. 3-time All-American, so close to being a finalist. He's recently back at the Wisconsin RTC, which is going to make a huge impact. 106 collegiate wins. Isn't that crazy?
Well, and he's in the 134-pound bracket. So we mentioned earlier, it's the variance. How many points can this wrestler score your team, you know? It's not, are they number one pound for pound? It's the variance, the difference between number 1 and number 2 through 6 ranked.
We're taking a look at the depth in each weight. We already saw 199, have 3 up on the top 7. Is that going to be a difference or game changer in those other weight classes? I do think so. What
it's going to make it interesting. Do you take a 199-pounder in the first round, given we have 3 199-pounders in the top 7 ranked pound for pound?
These GMs, it makes a huge difference when they pick who and when. You know what I mean?
It's very important, dude. Folks, we're going to see it all laid out tonight, happening live here on Flow Wrestling. We're going to go back to Shane Sparks here. Back to the live draft coverage.
About 10 minutes away from the inaugural Championship League of American Wrestling draft. The stars are out in Atlantic City. Zane Rutherford, Peyton Hall, Reese Humphrey, Zach Elam. A great crowd here in Atlantic City. The draft is coming up next. The Championship League of American Wrestling.
Hey guys, Stephen Neal here. When I graduated high school, I had 0 opportunities to compete in the sport of football. But I had opportunities to compete in the sport of wrestling. The sport of wrestling taught me so many great things. It taught me how to change levels. In football, they call it changing your pad level. They taught me how to hand fight, which in football you call getting your hands inside. I learned leverage. I learned balance. I learned a great work ethic. And I learned that I could accomplish anything I set my mind to. 6 years after I got done playing football, I had a great opportunity to try out for the New England Patriots. Not only did these wrestling skills help me make the team, I stuck with the team for 10 years, where we won 4 AFC championships and we won 3 Super Bowls. So I encourage you, each and every one of you, walk into that wrestling room, ask the coach if you can try out for the team. He's going to say yes, and he's going to say, let's wrestle.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking
about our honeymoon.
What about Africa? Safari?
Hot air balloon ride.
Swim with elephants?
Wait, can we afford a safari?
Great question. Like everything, takes a little planning.
Or put the money towards a down payment?
On a ranch.
In Montana?
With horses.
Let's take a look at those scenarios.
JP Morgan Wealth Management has advisors in Chase branches and tools like Wealth Plan to help keep you on track. When you're planning for it all, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
From inside Harris Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey, a very special night for the world's oldest and greatest sport. It's the inaugural draft of the Championship League of American Wrestling. Hello and welcome. Excited to have you, those of you in attendance and those of us watching live on X, YouTube, and on Flow Wrestling. So, CLAW Inaugural Draft, we will have the first 4 rounds here tonight. We have 6 teams. 24 wrestlers will hear their name called tonight. The 4 remaining rounds, rounds 5 through 8, those will be tomorrow at 8 Eastern Time. Looking at the draft rules, as I mentioned, 8 rounds. It is a snake draft, which means we'll go in reverse order after the first round. In rounds 1 and 2, 4 minutes between picks. In the third round, 3 minutes. And in the fourth round, 2 minutes. Our events will be in October. 2 teams will wrestle in Super Duel 1, end of November in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There you get a look at the draft order determined by a random draw. The Cicadas are on the clock, and you'll see the general managers with that number 1 pick. It is Caden Henschel, Anthony Robles, the movie star of Unstoppable, the general manager of the Hammers, Giorgio Poulos of Chaos, but you can't take him down, and our fan participation contest, the Enforcers, the FFF League. And now for further analysis, as we bring in for the first time here in the draft, we bring in the BEG guys with Zach Beaver and Campbell, 3-time national qualifier, Dom Zacconi.
Thank you. Zach, is there any other option here besides Zane as the number 1 overall pick?
Zane is the consensus number 1 overall. However, given his past folk style, freestyle accolades, that makes sense. However, Dom, we discussed that might not necessarily translate to the most points for your team in this league. It's about the variance from the number 1 ranked wrestler from number 2 through number 6. How many points, how much better are they than who they're going to be facing? It's going to all come down to that Caden Henschel, number 1 overall picker. We're going to get to find out more.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too, Dom.
I think the draft is in.
There you hear the chime. The pick is in. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you the co-founders of CLAW Wrestling, Tom Houck and Eric Brugel.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for everybody watching online. And thank you to New Way Combat, who partnered with us to hold this momentous event here at New Way Summer Nationals, where almost 4,000 wrestlers will be competing over the next several days. An awesome event. So it's a special night in the sport of wrestling. Nothing like this has ever been done before. And we believe it's the beginning of wrestling finally having a successful and exciting and sustainable professional league, which is great for athletes and great for fans as well. And it all begins with the first pick in the draft held by General Manager Caden Henschel of the Cradle City Cicadas. And the pick is in, and so without further ado, it's time for history to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the first pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Cicadas select Zane Rutherford.
No surprise here, a great pick by the Cicadas. The Zane train is heading to the Cicadas. What a career. The 2-time Hodge Trophy winner, 3-time national champion for Cale Sanderson in Penn State, 2024 Olympic Trials champion. He won the world title in 2023. Zane Rutherford. Zane, if I can get you over here. We're doing it. Congratulations. History being made. You are the first pick in the inaugural draft. How special is this?
Yeah, I'm really excited. When Tom had reached out early this summer, I wasn't even sure if I was going to compete again, but I think I'm just super excited to be able to wrestle in State College, wrestle folk style in State College, and have some fun with this.
We're looking forward to watching you. Congratulations, Zane Rutherford of the Cicadas, the #1 pick in the inaugural Claw Wrestling Draft. Chaos is now on the clock.
History has been made. Dom, Zane Rutherford off the board at #1 at 157 pounds. The 30-year-old and former Penn State Nittany Lion wrestler. Tell us more about him.
Zach, no surprise here at all. How will his wrestling translate to Claw? We've seen how dominant he has been, not only in folk style, but also in freestyle as well. I'm excited to see the pace and how he wrestles on top, being so dominant. 2-time Hodge Trophy winner, world champ, Olympian, 3-time NCAA champ.
Well-deserved #1 overall pick there, Zane Rutherford. We kind of all expected that. However, Chaos is now on the clock, Dom. And here's where, if you look at our pound-for-pound rankings, you have a logjam there at 199. Would you go with a 199-pound wrestler, or would you maybe look at a different weight class that has maybe some more variance?
Being such a deep weight class, I want to get one of the best wrestlers out of that weight class. Mike, obviously wrestling today, as we said earlier, and getting a win, that might be a chance to pick him up and see what he could do in this Claw wrestling freestyle. Obviously a national champion folk style. It's exciting who's going to go next.
Several great wrestlers still available. Mike Machiavello, as you mentioned, Peyton Hall, who we heard from earlier. I mean, it comes down to what weight, what variance. Giorgio Poulos on the clock, Team Chaos here.
Don't forget about how deep that 134-pound weight class is either. There is so many ways that weight class could go. We've seen it in college before. We've seen it all over the place, even in the world championships. It's going to be exciting if we go big, little guys, which way we go. It's so deep at 34. Do you have any idea who might go at 134 if it gets picked next, if 199 gets picked next?
I do expect Eric Barnett to be your #1 wrestler drafted at 134, but here's an interesting. Ian Parker, okay? Ian Parker in the 157 weight class. Now, we just saw Zane get drafted. It'll be interesting to see where Ian goes, that we have him as your #2 ranked wrestler at 157. However, he's a great wrestler. That'd be someone I would definitely want on my team. You know, and he might be overlooked because you have Zane there at the #1
We
pick.
start looking at it again, right? We're looking for points, how we score in Claw. Claw is different compared to everything else. Will Zane have close matches with these guys? Will he have, dominant matches? We will see. That could be a clear decider at who goes next.
Caleb Smith, also there at 134. We're going to go back to the draft here, folks. Let's see what's going on. Chaos on the clock.
There you hear the chime. The pick is in. Tom Houck will announce Chaos and their first pick, the 2nd overall pick in the draft.
With the 2nd pick in the 2025 Claw Draft, Chaos selects Mike Machiavello.
Mike Machiavello, 2018 NCAA champion for Pat Popolizio at NC State, a 5-time national team member, won the U.S. Open in 2022 and 2023. Earlier today, competed in the USA versus Russia duel in Budapest.
Mike Machiavello, Dom, he's a great guy. Not only a great wrestler, he's a great guy.
The
The
Matt
30-year-old.
Kings are on the clock. Back down to Zach and Dom.
Mike Machiavello, Dom, I'm a big fan of Mike. He's a great person, not only a great wrestler, a great person. The 30-year-old at 199. It's interesting. We see a 199-pound wrestler get drafted here, #2 overall. What are your thoughts?
Right on the money. We were talking about how great he wrestled today, and we couldn't have known who has gone second. We could not have known in that little jumble right there. Mike, such a great guy. How will his wrestling translate to Claw? We're about to find out soon enough.
Well, it's translating very well in Budapest earlier today, in fact. It does bring up the question where Nate Jackson goes. You mentioned him at that one. And also Chris Foca. 2 very solid 199-pound wrestlers we expect to see go early in this draft. But #2 overall is Mike Mock. That's no surprise to me. Is that surprising?
We have seen 2 veterans go 1 and 2 so far. We have a bunch of young guys in this draft, especially at the lower weights. What do we think switches up? Do we think we go lower weights, younger dudes?
Here's one thing I think you need to consider. Leadership, okay? Because these are teams, folks. These are teams. You're going to need camaraderie. Mike Mock brings a lot of that. We're going to go back to the draft. I think we have a pick in.
The pick is in, and making the selection for the Matt Kings is one of their co-general managers, Scott Sentis.
With the third pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Matt Kings select Big Matt Stencil.
As I mentioned, Scott Sentis, a co-general manager for the Matt Kings, along with Billy Baldwin. There is a look at Billy Baldwin looking over his notes. And he's got to be happy with the big guy from Central Michigan, Matt Stencil, 27 years old, 5-time NCAA qualifier, a 2-time All-American for head coach Tom Borelli in the Chippewas. He won 5 MAC titles. In that tournament, he was the outstanding wrestler in 2022, a 2-time MAC Wrestler of the Year. And Matt Stencil, he was a pinner, 74 pins, couple of big falls against Mason Paris and Zach Elam. The Matt Kings take Matt Stencil with the 3rd overall pick. The Enforcers are now on the clock.
Well, Dom, that's the first surprise we've had.
What just happened?
There's the first surprise at heavyweight. We all had Zach Elam written in as the number 1 pick. Matt Stencil off the board. He goes to Central Michigan kid. I see he's got a lot of fan support out there. Is this going to translate to CLAW?
What a pick. What a pick. I think I'm so excited to see Matt Stencil again wrestle. I haven't seen him wrestle in a long time. One of my favorite heavyweights. 74 pins. 133 wins in his college career. Like we said earlier, can he be a pinner for Baldwin and Scotty Sentis?
The co-GMs, you get to saw them in the war room. Here's an interesting fact. He has actually beaten Zach Elam before. So maybe this pick is not as crazy as we thought. I mean, he's the current coach. So he's very involved. We look to see that translate to the mat. And, I mean,
him not competing anymore, though, how good of shape is he in? How good of shape is he in?
Well, I think he's going to be in very good shape considering he's the assistant coach at Central Michigan University there. I expect big things out of Matt Stencil, not only on the mat, but leadership for his team. Scotty Sentis, former Campbell coach, former Euro coach, drafted him. He clearly knows a lot and has a lot of faith in this kid.
Scotty Sentis also Central Michigan alum. Same with Matt Stencil. We are going to see. I think that's just in now. We got his reaction live right now. So we're going to shoot to him. Wow. Absolutely amazing.
Look at the Stencil family and friends there going wild in the locker room.
Central Michigan doing it right.
He's got the fan base support behind him, that's for sure. We're expecting big things.
I'm expecting pins from Matt Stencil. Nothing but pins. Go big or go home.
Go big or go home. That's what Scotty Sentis and Billy Baldwin just did.
I think they made an incredible pick right there, an underrated pick. We're going to see.
Dom, let's take a look at maybe some of the best available wrestlers remaining in this draft because we're only 3 picks in, so there are quite a few great wrestlers still available. You mentioned Nate Jackson, Chris Foca, Zach Elam, Peyton Hall. Touch on some of these, Dom.
Don't forget, we got Ian Parker, Jarrett Jacques, Eric Barnett, the little guys. We have not seen a little guy picked yet, or lower weight class, as you want to say it. Can we see one come next?
Well, you would expect it to go early. You would expect that 134 lower weights to get drafted here in the first round, but we will see, folks. We're going to go take a look into the war room of the fan league here, folks, to see how they're deciding on this pick.
I'm excited.
Dom, now this team is a combination of former NCAA wrestlers who are now scattered across the entire country. So you're seeing them collaborating with multiple war rooms. Okay, this is a little bit of a unique team here, but they have multiple war rooms over there, as you saw.
Them together as general managers, I think that is so cool, them coming together, and CLAW giving an opportunity to fans and, you know, future general managers in the future to come together and possibly be general managers as one.
It's a great opportunity. I would say, how's the communication for that team? Who's ultimately making the decision?
Is there a clear leader?
Great question. Let's go back to the draft, Dom.
The pick is in. Tom Houck with the selection for the Enforcers.
With the 4th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Enforcers select Peyton Hall.
The Enforcers get one of the all-time greats from West Virginia. Peyton Hall, the all-time wins leader at West Virginia with 135 wins. 3-time NCAA All-American. 2025 Big 12 champion. Before that, a 4-time West Virginia high school state champion. Congratulations, Peyton. You and I talked earlier. I asked you what you're most proud of, and one of the things you said was, I was a great teammate with my guys who were a 4-time team captain. What makes a great leader?
Just setting a good example and being there for guys. I'm really proud of that. Still try to go back now and work with the guys that I was teammates with, Ty Waters specifically. Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to in this next chapter?
Honestly, just competing as much as I can and keep going, coaching, maybe see what happens.
Well, congratulations. Peyton Hall, the 4th overall pick for the Enforcers. The Hammers, you are on the clock.
Peyton Hall, absolute dog, off the board at the number 4 overall pick, 170 pounds. And Tom, you want to talk about the future? This kid's only 23 years old.
Crucial pick for the FFF League there for the Enforcers. What an outstanding guy. 4-time captain on his team. I don't know if you know this, but he is a bonus point machine. All he does is get bonus points. Watching him wrestle in college, he likes to score points. I think it's going to transition so well to this CLAW wrestling here. I'm excited to see his freestyle, though.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, like you said, to see how it translates. I could make the case Peyton Hall would have been a good number 1 overall pick, given his weight class, the variance, and he's just an absolute dog. I said, he might be the greatest West Virginia wrestler of all time, folks. He just got drafted number 4 overall. Who we have on the clock here up next? Matt Kings?
Next,
Hammers are now on the clock.
On the clock.
Anthony Robles on the clock. It'd be interesting to see who he goes with here.
Where do we go with here? I'm not too sure. I think what's going to start going to happen is some of that 199 weight class gets picked at again because of how deep it is. How deep and how many hammers we have in that class.
Well, it's a good question because I could make the case. Maybe you want to wait till the later rounds to draft the 199 weight class, but then, you know, you got Nate Jackson sitting out there. I mean, you got Chris Focus sitting out there. How could you not swoop them up?
You're right.
They're studs. I mean,
studs. Overall, great pick there. I'm excited to see how he does.
I agree.
I believe he's gonna choose top, like they said, and get after it with the points. He's gonna be a hammer.
Peyton Hall, the West Virginia Mountaineer, off the board here. Dom, some of the wrestlers that we still have available: Nate Jackson, Zach Elam, Eric Barnett, Ian Parker. It is going to be fascinating to see what direction these general managers go with these picks. What weight class do you go the best available pound for pound?
Don't count out any of those guys. Not one bit.
And it's a snake draft, Dom, so the 6th pick also has the 7th. Let's go back to the draft.
The pick is in for the Hammers, and here to announce it, Eric Brugel.
With the 5th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Hammers select Nathan Jackson.
Nate Jackson heading to the Hammers, had a great career for Dwayne Goldman at Indiana, a 3-time NCAA qualifier, over 100 career victories, a 2-time NCAA All-American at Indiana. On the freestyle side, World Cup, World Team Trials champion, and U.S. Open champion. And recently, this past February, Flow Wrestling Night in America beat Kennedy Monday 11-7. So Nate, folk style and freestyle, congratulations. This rule set is lined up for a guy with your style of wrestling. What are you most looking forward to in putting it on the line?
I'm most looking forward to having a team again, right? Being a part of a team, competing internationally. Sometimes, like, you're pursuing that goal alone. Dual setting is different, and having, like, the fans and the atmosphere, that could be pretty cool. So I'm excited for that.
We've talked about a lot about dual wrestling, the excitement of dual wrestling, the dual scoring, dual meets. Everybody, you look at the TV ratings, people love dual meet wrestling. What's it like being in a great dual meet wrestling?
I've spent a lot of time wrestling and coaching in dual meet setting. It's nothing like it. So everybody's up off their seat. The emotions are high, so I'm excited for that.
Well, congratulations. Looking forward to watching you wrestle for Anthony Robles and the Hammers. Good to see you. Nate Jackson, the 5th overall pick. The Leopards are now on the clock. The Leopards with the 6th pick.
Nate Jackson off the board. Dom, you mentioned him, the 199-pounder. He's 30 years old, currently training at his own club. Sounds professional, sounds like a leader, and he looks like a stud.
The Hammers are not only getting a teammate or an athlete, they're also getting a coach and a mentor all mixed in at once, which is going to be incredible for them and who they draft later in this draft as well. They get a bunch of young guys, they got a mentor to help keep them sharp and learn more, honestly, through this journey.
A coach and a wrestler all at the same time. And Dom, I could make the case that if Nate Jackson ends up being the best 199-pounder, this is an absolute steal at the number 5 pick. And you don't know. We talk Mike Mock, Nate Jackson, Chris Foca, all up there, the 199-pound. Nate Jackson could end up turning out to be a difference maker in this league.
We're seeing these veteran studs get picked left and right. I think it's going to be a huge difference in his wrestling style compared to what he's seen before entering into CLAW here. So I'm excited to see how he transitions, if he transitions, what he brings to the table that other teams or athletes haven't seen yet from CLAW.
No, I agree. And you're not only seeing great wrestlers getting drafted, you're seeing great leaders, great people. You know, this, especially in this first round, Dom, you want good leadership because this is a team league. And, you know, influence is going to be very important. Nate Jackson, like I said, sounds like a professional, looks like a professional, and I think he's going to do big things in this league.
Where do we go here next? Leopards on the clock.
Leopards and Angelo Ferrari.
Where do we go next from here?
I don't know. Angelo is on the clock. I have a feeling he's going to do something big, folks. Let's go.
See.
Let's go to it.
The pick is in. The Leopards picking for the first time tonight, the 6th overall pick. And here to announce that is Tom Houck.
With the 6th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Leopards select Zach Elam.
Zach Elam, a junior world silver medalist in 2018. Phenomenal career for Brian Smith and the Tigers in Columbia. 5-time NCAA qualifier, a 2-time All-American, over 100 career wins. And last June, in a CLAW Invitational, he beat Tay Gadiali in the finals. Zach, you've had a taste of this CLAW wrestling before. What was your favorite rule when you wrestled last June?
Easily going to be the pylons and the quick point bonus. You know, creates a lot of action right off the start of the whistle. Huge fan of it.
Did anything surprise you?
No, it's just a lot of, it's just wrestling. That's really what it comes down to. And I'm looking forward to doing that come October, November, and get going again.
Thoughts on wrestling for current Iowa superstar, the GM, Angelo Ferrari, and the Leopards?
Team Ferrari. I'm super excited to represent Team Ferrari and the Leopards, and hopefully I can talk to GM Ferrari here soon. And I was waiting on the phone call. So,
congratulations, Zach. As we mentioned, this is a snake draft, so the Leopards are back on the clock as they will have the first pick in the second round.
Zach Elam makes history, Dom, by being the final wrestler drafted in the first round of this CLAW draft. And Angelo Ferrari is back on the clock for the next pick. How do you feel about the sixth pick, though?
Wow, what a pick. I think he's picked so low compared to what he could have been at that top. He could have honestly been a number 1 overall pick, being a CLAW champ. I think we only have 2 CLAW champs left, but Zach is going to be a huge asset to the Leopards, and they have another pick right after.
Right after, and I got to say, you think Zach Elam doesn't have a chip on his shoulder after Stencil just got drafted 3rd? Are you kidding me? Zach won last year's CLAW Invitational. How could he not? I mean, that's what I'm feeling like. Not to mention he's only 25 years old. You want to look at, I go back to the leadership of his team. He's young, he's ambitious, responsible, great guy.
I think he's going to be fired up, especially how that pick went, number 3. I think he's going to be fired up. He's got a little chip on your shoulder, like he said, and he's going to want to score points. He likes scoring fast. He likes the bonus points, and he likes the pylons. How can you not like the pylons?
Now, it is going to be interesting to see where Angelo goes with this next pick. So he's got heavyweight off the board now. Does he go lighter weights here with this next pick? As we begin the second round, Angelo has the first pick of the second round. It is a snake draft. Those of you familiar with fantasy football, same style. Angelo's the next picked up. It's going to be fascinating. Does he go 134? Does he go 157? Maybe Ian Parker.
This is going to be a very crucial pick. Let's look back at the first round.
It was an incredible first round. Dom, we had Zane, Mike Machiavello, Matt Stencil, Peyton Hall, Nate Jackson, and Zach Elam all making history as the first ever drafted CLAW wrestler.
That's a good-looking group of first rounders.
A lot of studs. There's a lot of dogs in that group.
Off to a great start here in New Jersey. 1 round is in the book. 3 more rounds to go tonight. It's the 2025 inaugural CLAW Draft here in Atlantic City. Round 2 is coming up next.
Hey guys, Stephen Neal here. When I graduated high school, I had 0 opportunities to compete in the sport of football. But I had opportunities to compete in the sport of wrestling. The sport of wrestling taught me so many great things. It taught me how to change levels. In football, they call it changing your pad level. They taught me how to hand fight, which in football you call getting your hands inside. I learned leverage. I learned balance. I learned a great work ethic. And I learned that I could accomplish anything I set my mind to. 6 years after I got done playing football, I had a great opportunity to try out for the New England Patriots. Not only did these wrestling skills help me make the team, I stuck with the team for 10 years, where we won 4 AFC championships and we won 3 Super Bowls. So I encourage you, each and every one of you, walk into that wrestling room, ask the coach if you can try out for the team. He's going to say yes, and he's going to say, let's wrestle.
It's madness, and we love it. Who saw that coming, Mike? Boom, boom, boom. The scoreboard is exhausted. Back inside Harris here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, the inaugural CLAW Wrestling Draft. First round is in the book. We saw 6 names go. And now we'll begin our second round again in this round. 4 minutes in between picks. The pick is the Leopards once again. We saw them take the big guy, Zach Elam, with the 6th overall pick. And here to announce the 7th pick is Eric Brugel.
With the 7th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Leopards select Eric Barnett.
So the Leopards, after taking Elam, the big guy, they go to 134-pound weight class and take Eric Barnett, former superstar in the Big Ten at Madison. Over 100 career wins. He was ranked as high as number 2 in the country, a Big Ten finalist in 2022. Barnett, a 4-time national qualifier, a 3-time All-American for Wisconsin. The Hammers are now on the clock, and let's send it back down to Zach and Dom.
Eric Barnett off the board. Dom is the first pick in the second round. I love this pick for Angelo. He goes heavyweight first round. He goes 134. First pick of the second round. He's Eric Barnett, only 24 years old. He's from Wisconsin. You know a little bit about them Wisconsin kids.
I love this pick. Heavyweight, right down to the lowest weight at 134. I think it's a phenomenal pick. I think Eric Barnett is such an asset to this team and the wrestling he provides for the team. Great on top. I think he's going to be a bonus point machine if he gets on top. And I'm excited to see how he does.
I'm excited for Angelo Ferrari's team right now and the way it's shaping up. He's got Zach Elam at heavyweight. He's got Barnett at 134. In my rankings, I had those as the number 1 ranked wrestler at both of those weights. So you got to, if you're Angelo Ferrari, you got to be happy with your first 2 picks right now. On the clock, we have the Hammers now currently on the clock.
Is that the benefit of the snake draft?
That's the benefit.
That's the benefit of the snake draft. So do you go first? Do you go last? You know
Can I ask you this? Yes or no question. Would you rather have Zane Rutherford or Zach Elam and Eric Barnett?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I think I'm going with that last draft pick and getting the number 1 heavyweight that you have and the number 1 134-pounder. I think it's obvious right there.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see how Caden's team pans out here. Is it going to be top-heavy with Zane? There's going to be a lot of pressure on Zane. Zane's going to have to perform.
We still have some available. We have Ian Parker, who was a champ last year, and we also, not listed, we have McBride, who's also one of the champs from last year's CLAW.
Yeah, Dom, we're looking at some of the best available remaining wrestlers. Chris Foca, Jared J. Hughes, Demetrius Thomas, Marcus Coleman wrestled earlier today in the USA versus Russia, I believe, and won. Some guy you might want to get there at 184
Don't count
pounds.
out Jonathan Milner.
Jonathan
he is
Milner.
a stud. Let me tell you about it. And Caleb Smith used to be teammates. Now you see him down there at number 6 and 7, 157 pounds, 134 pounds. Can they end up on the same team and be teammates again? We'll see.
And it's going to be interesting because I do have Caleb Smith as the number 2 ranked 134-pounder. So now that we see Barnett off the board, it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Dom, let's go back to the draft here.
Let's see the pick.
The pick is in. Tom Howe to the podium to announce the 2nd pick in the second round by the Hammers.
With the 8th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Hammers select Ian Parker.
Ian Parker, a 4-time NCAA qualifier for the Cyclones of Iowa State, an NWCA All-American in 2020. He was seated 4th at those championships that were ultimately canceled. On the freestyle side, 2021 Bill Farrell champion, a member of the 2025 U.S. national team who was 3rd at Final X. He is currently the assistant coach at the University of Virginia under head coach Steve Garland. The enforcers are on the clock.
Ian Parker off the board, Dom. We were waiting to see when the next 150-pound wrestler would go, and it goes now. 2nd pick in the second round, Ian Parker, the 27-year-old, is off the board and on Team Hammers.
There goes one of last year's champs They're moving fast. I think that is such a great pick. Ian Parker has been showing how much he's improving in wrestling while he's been coaching. He is a national team member, third at Final X, as a coach in Virginia. Isn't that wild?
Now, you talked about it. I know you're a big Ian Parker fan. I know you love that pick, Dom. I would say this. You know who he lost to last year? Max Murin, who's still available to get drafted in this. Okay, so some great wrestlers still available here, folks. But I do love that pick. Ian Parker, you talked about him. You touched on him.
As this draft goes on, it still stays deep because these names keep popping up. We cleared some of those top names from our board. We're now seeing some of these deeper names that are still great wrestlers, All-Americans, national team members. I'm excited to see who goes next.
Anthony Robles has to be very happy with his team right now after his first 2 picks. Dom, we do now have the enforcers on the clock.
Where do enforcers go with this?
Where do they go with this?
We're about to see, do they stay with some of the little guys, which we have not seen too many pop up. We were just talking about the little guys, and Eric Barnett getting picked. We have some down the line. Do you have any suggestions at who could it be?
I think with Barnett going, I might look at a different weight outside of 134 with this next pick. However, I wouldn't hate it if he went there. My next best available was Caleb Smith, but, I mean, you have other weight classes, 184, that you have some 170. Jared JQ's still there, 170. Come on, man.
Mick Bride, who we were talking about, who is the last winner from last year, still remaining. We're going to see who goes today. I'm so excited.
I mean, the reality is, Dom, any wrestler who goes in these top 4, given this new style, could actually end up being the best wrestler at their weight in this league.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, right? Because it's a combination of folk style freestyle with additional rules on top. So you can't necessarily say it's going to translate.
This is where the biggest picks are important. It's okay to have your top guy at that number 1 draft, but how these next picks lay out and who's not going to give up bonus points, who's going to get bonus points, who's going to wrestle tough, who's going to wrestle through every position is so important. And we're going to see it here in the next few picks, which guys are going, if there's any later picks that are still very important picks.
I would say this, Dom. To your point of these being the most important picks of this draft, if you play fantasy football, you don't win with your first pick. You win with those middle round picks. So, yeah, Dom, you're absolutely spot on with that. These middle round picks are what's going to make a championship team in this league. Let's go back to the draft.
We're going to see right here.
The enforcers set to make their selection with the 9th pick.
With the 9th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the enforcers select Caleb Smith.
Caleb Smith, 24 years old. He was a 3-time high school state champion. Began his career at Appalachian State. He was a 2023 SoCon champion. Then he went to Lincoln. Boy, was he phenomenal for Mark Manning and the Cornhuskers. 2-time All-American at Nebraska, 7th and 6th in 2024 and 2025. The Matt Kings are now on the clock.
Caleb Smith off the board at 134. Tom, we kind of predicted that could happen. He's only 24 years old, out of Nebraska RTC. What are your thoughts on
the
Caleb
second
Smith?
Little guy we see go, and it's the number 2 as we had. I think it's so awesome. I've seen this guy wrestle so much. Being in the same conference, obviously he went to Nebraska, did great things, but he's still improving as a wrestler. I think he has something to prove, and going, you know what I mean, a little bit later than maybe he expected. I think he's going to be fired up. Bonus point machine. He's so fast. He's so fast, so quick. Can he get those quick bonus points?
Chip on the shoulder, I'm sure, being drafted 2nd at that weight. Now we're on Matt Kings on the clock here. And here's something I want to bring your attention to, Dom. I don't believe we've had a wrestler drafted yet in the 145 or the 184-pound weight class. So if you're the Matt Kings, pick number 10 in this spot. you know, we talked about it, the variance, it's about getting points. You can get a lot of points if you're a great wrestler. Do you look at one of those weight classes, or are you looking at some of these others that are getting filled quick because you want to fill those spots and not become super weak?
I would jump on one of those weight classes very, very soon, especially if there is a bonus point score. As the way CLAW works, you could score a bunch of points, get more points racked on for your team. It's way different than anything we've seen before, and it's absolute madness. So I would go after some bonus pointers.
25 points for a pin. Just think about that. You got a guy who goes out there and pins people and is getting 25 points for your team. That's going to be a very valuable member of your team, folks. But so it'll be interesting. We got 184 wide open, 145 wide open. I think we got to see some of these names start dropping here. So
like I said, one more time, McBride on the clock still. Billy Baldwin is making a pick. I think Sentes is here right now.
Sentes is here. Billy looks nervous. Wow, he is doing a lot of. Look how nervous he looks.
Who do you think he goes with here?
You think him and Sentes are going back and forth on the phone right now over this pick?
They're very smart. I think they've been scheming a little bit on who to pick, who goes where. I think they're going to make a very smart pick here.
Okay, we have a couple general manager teams here that have multiple members. So, who's got the ultimate say? Who's the boss of that team? Is it Sentes or Baldwin? What do you think?
I think it's a balance of both. They both bring an equal side of wrestling knowledge to one another. I think they obviously made a very smart pick early on in the draft with the pinner. So we're going to see what happens right here, right now in their pick. I'm so excited to see who they go with.
Hey, we'll see. Maybe Coach Sentes has a trick up his sleeve, maybe? I don't know. You know him best, Dom.
Coach Sentes always has a trick up his sleeve. and we're going to see. He has been a gamer since day one. Nothing but games all the time. And guess what? He doesn't like to lose. So I know he did his research digging on finding which wrestlers will be best. And we might see those weight classes we haven't seen yet might get picked right here, right now. What do you think?
I'm sure he's well researched, Dom. But I think we're going to go back to the draft. I think his pick might be in.
The Matt Kings are ready to make their selection once again. Co-general manager of the Matt Kings, Scott Sentes.
With the 10th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Matt Kings select Muhammad McBride.
Muhammad McBride, 28 years old, 184-pound weight class. Current assistant coach at West Virginia. In 2019, a U23 national champion. 5th at the U23 World Championships in 2019. Followed that up in 2020 at the U23s with a bronze medal. U.S. Open 5th place in 2025. And last June, CLAW Invitational champion. He beat All-American Clay Louts in the finals. Muhammad McBride, 10th overall pick to the Matt Kings. Chaos, you are now on the clock.
Muhammad McBride off the board, Dom. We called it the 184-pounder. He's only 28 years old, and he's won a lot of matches recently. What do you think about that pick?
I'm so excited to see this pick. We finally see someone at 184 get picked. And not only do we see another coach, but possibly another leader for this team. And you go to think, is that their strat? Are they going after leaders, coaches, people that could give influence back down to some of their later on picks?
I like that style. I would agree with that. I also mentioned this is the first wrestler off the board at 184 pounds. My rankings had Lenny Wollick there at number 1. I did have McBride number 2. You could flip-flop them. It's debatable, but McBride, the first 184-pound weight class wrestler off this board, I think that's significant. That's a big impact on team points.
He brings so much to the table. I got a chance to watch him wrestle last year, being on the opposite team. But I got to watch him wrestle last year, and man, was he a powerhouse, but nothing but the nicest guy. So I think he could bring a great balance, to that team and environment, get them pumped up for these duels. They could go up, down, left, right. You never know what might happen in a duel, especially with a pin.
Well, not only that, he's proven successful in CLAW. He won the 2024 CLAW Invitational. He's been here. He's done this. And I don't know about you, Dom, but the second time I do anything in my life, I'm a lot better than I was the first time. So you got to think McBride's going to be even better than he was last year at the Invitational.
I agree. A late bloomer. We've seen a lot of Ian Parker, for example. We were talking about it. Never an All-American but he is making some big jumps in his wrestling right now as a coach. Same thing with McBride. Is he making, big jumps as a coach, and that's helping him become a better athlete? It's great. He's got the opportunity and experience now to compete in something like this. I'm really excited, and I think he's going to compete very, very well. Another West Virginia guy we see.
Yeah. We're going to see how he bodes out in the 184 weight class, but now we have chaos on the clock with the second to last pick in the second round here. So again, I go back to we got to look at what weight classes they need, what weight classes are available. I know one weight class is wide open, 145. You have Alan Hart, Moshe Schwartz, your former teammate Shannon Hanna still available in that weight class, but we don't know where chaos is going to go with this next pick. What are your thoughts?
We just saw it at 184, you know what I mean? They saw someone in there that can make huge leaps in that weight class. Do we see it now at 145? I think so. I honestly think that they're going to pick a hammer out of that weight class. There is a lot of great, great guys. For example, on the Alan Hart, who we did not mention and is not up there right now, we got Chris Foca, Jared Jacques, Demetrius Thomas, Marcus Coleman. Any you want to touch on right there?
Well, we did mention how Coleman just won his match earlier today up against Russia. But, your point to Alan Hart at 145, he's not on that best available list. Maybe he should be, though. Maybe he should be.
Hammer on top. He is going to be a great asset to a team. I know we didn't see him up there, but he is going to be a great asset.
Chaos on the clock.
The pick is coming in.
The Chaos is ready to make their selection. Once again, one of the co-founders of CLAW Wrestling, Eric Brugel.
With the 11th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, Chaos selects Jarrett Jacques.
Jared Jacques, 25 years old, 170-pound weight class, the dangerous Jared Jacques, over 100 wins in that Missouri Tiger Singlets, 2019 MAC champion, was a 3-time Big 12 finalist, a 5-time NCAA qualifier, had that amazing run at the 2024 Olympic trials where he went on quite the run, defeating Vincenzo Joseph, Quincy Monday, and Tyler Berger, and most recently made the 2025 national team. He beat Bryce Andonian at Final X for true third. Jarrett Jacques to the Chaos at pick number 11. And with that said, the Cicadas are back on the clock.
Jared Jacques to Team Chaos, Dom, at 170 pounds, the 25-year-old. I have him as the number 2 ranked wrestler at 170 pounds. What are your thoughts?
I've seen it a lot more now in the middle of this draft. A lot of veterans that have maybe not gotten what they want early on in their career, but have improved so much are getting picked up, and it's a great mix of the athlete and coach mixing together. I think it's a great pickup. I'm excited to see what he does. I haven't seen him compete in this yet, but I know he's great at folk style, great at freestyle. We're about to see right now.
Well, you mentioned, Dom, the beauty of this league is that you have wrestlers from D1, D2, all different styles combining into this one to compete. So it is going to be interesting to see how everyone votes out against each other. But maybe some of the other wrestlers who are still available there at 170. We have Brock Moeller, Kendall Coleman, John Vanbril. Some good wrestlers still available there, but I got to tell you, I love Jacques, okay? And I think he's going to finish as maybe not quite Peyton Hall, but I think he could give Peyton Hall a good run for his money here.
I think seeing him wrestle and what he's done the last few years, he can definitely give a run for his money. How will he transition from freestyle back into this folk style, environment? Like we said, Peyton Hall is a scorer. He's a bonus point machine. He's great on top. When you're in freestyle, it's a lot of wrestling on your feet. So we're going to see what happens right now. There's that best available again. What are you thinking?
Well, we're looking at Chris Foca, Demetrius Thomas, Marcus Coleman, John Milner. I will say this, one final thought on Jacques. If you want to talk about fun wrestling, last year he beat Bryce Andonian at Final X for the true third, if you remember that match. 2 of the funnest wrestlers you'll ever watch. So he's in this league. You're going to have fun watching Jacques, but now we're going to take a look. We got Caden Henschel back on the clock here with the final pick in the second round. Dom, and, this is an important one. He's got the the next pick after this as well.
Yeah, where did he go from here? He had the number 1. I'm excited to see where he goes from here. The pick is back on.
Pick is in, Dom.
Let's go back. Let's see what's happening.
The podium.
One of the co-founders of CLAW Wrestling, Tom Houck, to announce the 12th overall pick by the Cicadas.
With the 12th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Cicadas select Tristan Moran.
So Tristan Moran joins Zane Rutherford on the Cicadas. Rutherford taken first overall. Tristan Moran wrestled at Oklahoma State and at Wisconsin. A two-time national qualifier, a 2020 NWCA All-American for the Badgers. He was fourth for Wisconsin that season at the Big Ten Championships, and he has some big wins in his career. He's beat Nick Lee, Jaden Ironman, Zach Sherman, Ronnie Perry, Chad Redd, and Mitch McKee. Tristan Moran, 12th overall to the Cicadas. And the Cicadas remain on the clock as they will have the first pick in the third round.
Whoa, Dom!
Holy cow.
Tristan Moran is the first 145-pounder off the board. Did you see that coming?
I was about to ask you if you saw that coming. I did not see it coming.
Unbelievable. I mean, you look at our rankings, we have him as the number 7 pound-for-pound ranked wrestler. Clearly, we don't know what we're talking about. We're not general managers here.
You know what was going on in his mind? I think it's a good pick. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. I haven't seen him wrestle in a very, very long time. He is a stud from back in the day, and he could be a really good asset. Is he a bonus point machine? We're about to see right now. Might be a hammer on top.
Well, I'll say this. For the purposes of Team Caden Henschel and Cicadas, he better be an absolute dog in this league. Caden going out on a limb, taking Tristan Moran with the final pick in the second round. You know, I don't hate it. I don't hate it, man. I have seen Tristan Moran. He was very heavily involved leading up to this draft and kind of promoting himself. And that's what this is really a lot about. This is a league, promoting yourself. This is a business. I mean, he's here to make an impact in this league, Dom.
If there's one thing I like, it's a funky wrestler, because there's no way you could wrestle him the same anytime ever again. He brings that aspect to CLAW, and we've seen it before in CLAW. You know what I mean? Being down big and getting a pin in CLAW, absolutely wild. I think we're going to see some crazy stuff happen at these events that we have not seen before.
No, things are going to happen. It's going to change the game. But if we look at Caden's team, okay, his first two picks, he goes 134, he goes Zane, and then at 145. So he's got 145 and 157 off the board. Who's he going to go with with this next pick, Dom? Like, what weight? Or would you want to go maybe a heavier weight with this next pick?
You know, where he's going with this, we're looking for depth. I'm not too sure where he goes. 145, obviously still wide open. He gets Moran. It's going to be very, very interesting what happens. I think he might go with another big guy. Looking at it, Demetrius Thomas is still on that board. If he does not get picked up, I think he might get picked up very soon.
Demetrius Thomas still available. Also, Chris Foca, another big dog, still available. Let's go back to Shane Sparks to wrap up everything we've seen up to this point.
Looking at rounds 1 and 2, Zane Rutherford with the number 1 overall pick. Eric Barnett's going number 7. Caleb Smith number 9. And the latest pick, the final pick in the second round, Tristan Moran goes to the Cicadas at 12th overall. As we enter now the third round, there will be 3 minutes in between picks. Again, 4 rounds here tonight, and then tomorrow, 8 Eastern, rounds 5 through 8, the inaugural CLAW Draft. The pick is in, and once again, here's Eric Brugel.
With the 13th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Cicadas select Demetrius Thomas.
Demetrius Thomas, 27 years old, wrestling at 275 pounds, an NAIA national champion, also a runner-up in the NAIA. And then for Pitts, a two-time ACC champion and national qualifier for the Panthers, 2020 NWCA All-American, and a runner-up at the U.S. Open here in 2025 as U.S. national team member. 13th overall pick, Demetrius Thomas, the Chaos. And you are now on the clock.
Demetrius Thomas off the board. I absolutely love this pick, and you saw Caden Henschel. It looks like he loves it as well. Don, we talked about him. This is a great pick, right?
There he goes. One of the better heavyweights that we have at our top 3 right there. They're all off the board, and I think it's going to be a great pick because it goes to show he might be an important role in these duels going up against, one of these other teams here.
Well, absolutely. Caden had to fill that heavyweight spot. He's got a lot of picks until it comes back around to him. So I think it was very important, given the depth at this heavyweight weight class, that he filled that spot now. He's got 157. He's got 145 filled. It would be interesting to see where Caden goes coming back around. Now we have Chaos on the clock, though, Dom. Where would you look at with this next pick for Chaos?
I am all over. That 145 is still wide open. It is so crazy. Let's take a look at the whole board. We haven't seen too many 134-pounders picked besides the top 2, obviously. We have still a bunch of hammers left in this draft, and I don't think enough people realize how deep this draft goes. It goes so deep, and it's so important because you got to get important wrestlers that will not give up bonus points, that will wrestle to the whistle, and honestly, score as much as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe the story up to this point of the draft is, like you mentioned, the 145 remains wide open. So if you're a general manager, maybe Team Chaos looks here, 145. I don't know. That would make a lot of sense to me, but we're about to find out. Did you hear?
Next pick is in.
I think the pick is in, Dom. Let's go back and check it out.
And now the pick for the Chaos, 14th overall.
With the 14th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, Chaos selects Tyler Warner.
Tyler Warner, 28 years old, 134 pounds, 3-time Ohio High School State Champion, a 5-time Division II All-American, a 2-time NCAA Division II National Champion at West Liberty University. The Chaos with a 14th pick select Tyler Warner, and now the Matt Kings are on the clock.
Tyler Warner off the board down to Team Chaos, pick number 14 overall. He's at the 134-pound weight class. He's only 28 years old. How do you feel about this?
You want me to be honest?
Yeah.
I think this is a great pick. I got some insight on him, and I've heard only good things and about how much talent he actually has. I think he's going to prove it here in this claw.
Okay, well, he's got a lot of competition. Barnett, Caleb Smith, also still available at 134. We have Kyle Berwick, Brian Courtney. A lot of good wrestlers still available at 134. Next up on the clock, though, we have Matt Kings. Let's look at what Matt Kings is looking at right now.
We still see some All-Americans on the board.
How is Chris Foca still there?
On the board.
How is Chris Foca? Marcus Coleman just beat Russia. How is he still available?
I think one of those guys are going to get picked next, I'm going to be honest, and it is still so deep. Dallin Hart on that board there at number 6. The Claw... Excuse me, I totally forgot. He is also a CLAW champion from last year.
Former CLAW champion, still on the board. Also, Lenny Wolak, I have him as my number 1 ranked wrestler. Dude, at 184, still available.
Anything can happen in these drafts.
Unbelievable.
Anything can happen. Just like we said in fantasy, anything can happen, and this is where it makes a difference in these lower drafts.
This is why this is
I'm having
fun.
an absolute blast.
I mean, I have more fun doing my fantasy football draft than I have watching football. If I'm being honest,
we
right?
might have to sign up for a CLAW fantasy draft next year.
That's what I'm saying. But hey, Tyler Warner, congratulations. You are officially a professional wrestler.
I'm very, very, very excited to
Matt
see.
King's on the clock.
Who they go with next?
Well, they have 157 they need to fill, the 157, but with Zane being that seems like a top heavyweight, I could see that weight being overlooked and not drafted till later rounds, which by the way, rounds 4 through 8, folks, be on BEG Wrestling tomorrow night live. But Matt King's on the clock. There's a lot of strategy in this. Pick 15 overall. What do you think?
Are you liking any teams so far right now? with
love
where they're
Angelo's team.
Angelo's got a great team.
Angelo's team at that 6th pick. I said it before the draft. I thought the number 6 pick would be the best pick, and I actually had that in our mock draft. And Angelo went with the exact picks that I would have gone with at that position.
Scotty Sentez, still one of my favorite teams right there. Okay. I think we have another pick coming in right now. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see who we're going with.
Off the board.
And the pick is in for the Mad Kings once again. Co-general manager of the Mad Kings, Scott Sentis.
With the 15th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, I will be going against my general manager and selecting Jonathan Milner.
Jonathan Milner, 26 years old, 157-pound weight class, a 4-time SoCon champion for Appalachian State, an All-American in both 2021 and 2022, college record of 121 and 24, a 2-time U23 All-American. Jonathan Milner to the Matt Kings in the 3rd round, and the Enforcers are now on the clock.
Jonathan Milner to the Matt Kings. Dom, this is an interesting pick by old Coach Sentis here. Especially 157, there's a lot of studs at this weight class. Max Murin still available. Tommy Askey, Reese Humphrey. What are your thoughts?
This is such an underrated pick in how good Jonathan Milner is. It's fun to see a Campbell coach and an Appalachian State wrestler come together on the same team. Never in my mind would I thought I'd see this, but it is happening. It is such a great pick. He has so many assets he brings to this table, not only the team, but as a wrestler too.
No, and I'm sure he's coming here to prove himself. And, you know, like you mentioned, maybe CLAW is where former rivals come together to compete on the same team. Coach Sensis knows what he's doing over there. But on the clock now, folks, we have the Enforcers with the number 16 pick. And I just cannot believe Chris Folk is still out here.
He's still up there.
Chris Folk is still available, folks. If you're a general manager, I don't know. You might want to look at him. But what are your thoughts? Who would you maybe look at here next pick?
He is one of those funky wrestlers. I totally agree with you. He is one of those funky wrestlers that make such a big impact in a sport like this.
No, I mean,
it is so crucial to be getting those pins, high scoring points. Honestly, I could see him being down 7 points and winning with a pin or even, you know, bonus pointing out there.
Not only that, Chris Folk coming off an AA just this past season, but also still available. You have like Brock Muller out there, Max Murin. You know, I'm a personal fan of Max Murin being from Iowa.
We talked about him at the beginning.
We talked about him in the beginning. I could see Angelo drafting Max Murin. Wouldn't that make sense? That would make sense, but he is not on the clock. The Enforcers are on the clock. And we're about to find out who they're going to go with in this pick.
I'm very, very excited, and I think the pick is in
right
now. Let's hear it.
You hear the chime. The pick is in for the Enforcers.
With the next pick in the draft, the selection will be made by Alan Carter, CEO of Wolfgang Wrestling Supplements, and Maximus Carter.
With the 16th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Enforcers select Chris Foca.
Chris Foca, 24 years old. He'll wrestle at 199. A New Jersey high school state champion, a Fargo national champion, and then had a great career for the Big Red at Cornell, where he was a 4-time NCAA qualifier, a 2-time All-American, coming off a nice 5th-place finish this past March. Lost to Max McAnally in the quarterfinals. And he plans to represent the Dominican Republic in international competition. Chris Foca, the 16th overall pick to the Enforcers. The Hammers are now on the clock.
Whoa.
All right, Dom, I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew I wasn't crazy, right? Chris Foca is good. He just went, drafted, what was that, number 16 overall, the 24-year-old. He's in that tough 199-pound weight class, but this dude is a proven stud, Dom.
I think it is a huge asset to him. We've only been talking good about him. We have him highly ranked on all of our lists. he is that funky wrestler that is going to make an impact. And to continue wrestling, I think he still has, something to prove, something to show in Claw and, future wrestling.
Well, if not before, he's got a chip on his shoulder right now. And, Dom, he's the only one caveat I would say here is maybe he's not up to that weight at 199 fully yet. Maybe he's a little lighter. I believe he did wrestle a little lighter. But another interesting thing, he was at Cornell, now with the Tar Heel Wrestling Club, following old Coach Rob Cole there. Rob Cole, I know Cornell kept big fan of Rob Cole, great coach. We're gonna see. Why don't we look at some of the best remaining available wrestlers as the Hammers are on the clock here.
Looking at it, Marcus Coleman up number 1 right there. And all we've been doing is talking about him today.
All we've been doing.
Wrestling overseas, Brock Mahler, Lennox Wolek, Alan Hart, Dakota Gear, Max Murin, Luke Serber. There is still some crazy hammers left in this draft. 145 still.
145, and dude, what's going on at 184?
Absolutely.
McBride, the only wrestler off the board. We got Wolek still available. Kennedy Monday still out there.
Max Murin, one of my favorites. He is going to be a great pickup for whoever gets him. Like we said, can Angelo get him?
And Marcus Coleman just beat up on Russia today, so you might want to draft him. Let's get back to it, Dom.
Let's go.
The pick is in for the Hammers once again from Wolfgang Wrestling Supplements, Alan Carter, and the pick will be announced by Maximus Carter.
With the pick in the 17th pick in the 2025 Claw Draft, the Hammers select Brock Moeller.
Brock Mahler, 25 years old, 170-pound weight class, a 4-time Missouri high school state champion, was a 4-time All-American in Columbia for the Tigers, an NCAA record of 118-19, captured 3 MAC titles, and is a 2-time U23 World Team member. Brock Mahler, 17th overall pick. 18th pick is up next. The Leopards. And Angelo Ferrari, their general manager, on the clock.
Brock Mahler goes 17th overall to the Hammers. And Brock Mahler, he just sounds like a Hammer wrestler, doesn't he?
Not surprised. Not surprised at all. As you can see his accolades, he is phenomenal. And he's going to be a huge asset to that team. Well, I'm excited to see him wrestle. He is a go-getter. Can he get those bonus points and help his team win?
Dom, I have number 3rd ranked at the 170 class behind Peyton Hall and Jared Jacques, but if you're in that top 3 ranked, it's a slight different style. I could see him leapfrogging, maybe being a 1 or 2 at this weight class. I think it's a great pickup at 170.
You know what I'm seeing? A lot of great Missouri wrestlers all in this draft going. It's absolutely wild. And not only that, we have other teams as well that you just see great wrestlers, teammates, West Virginia.
Yep.
Absolutely. What do you think about that?
West Virginia, we're seeing, like you said, we're seeing a strong contingent from, your Missouri wrestlers. They're well represented out here, but
a lot of East Coast. I'm seeing a lot of East Coast.
A lot of East Coast. I tell you, a great wrestler who's not at Missouri. He's at Iowa right now. That's Angelo Ferrari, and he's on the clock right now with the 18th pick. So far, this is my favorite team, Dom. I'm very anxious to see who he goes with here. Number 18, this is an important pick. Like you said, this is the meat and the bones of this draft.
Absolutely. He could go so many different directions. I have no idea where he's going to be at in this draft pick. I'm excited to see. There is still so many options. What weight class would you like to see kind of get picked up next?
Well, if you're Angelo, you got your 134-pound weight class drafted. You got your 275s. You got anything and everything in the middle. I got to go back to, man, I think I would look at the 184-pound weight class to draft. Man,
I totally agree with you.
You haven't seen a lot. You've only seen one wrestler off the board at 184, then maybe 145. You got a lot of great wrestlers at 145 still available. Alan Hart, Moshe Schwartz, Shannon, Hannah.
I think a lot of those wrestlers are going to get eaten up so fast here, and they're going to be off the board soon. The next pick is in.
All right, let's see where he goes with.
With the final pick in the 3rd round, once again, announcing the pick, Wolfgang Wrestling Supply.
With the pick in the With the 18th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Leopards select Max Murin.
Max Murin, 26 years old, 157 pounds. Current Hawkeye great Angelo Ferrari selects the former Hawkeye Max Murin, who was a two-time All-American at Iowa, five-time national qualifier. Before Iowa, he was a two-time Pennsylvania high school state champion. Max Murin, 18th overall to the Leopards. The Leopards remain on the clock for our fourth round. In the fourth round, 2 minutes between picks.
How could he not, Dom? How could Angelo not draft Max Murin?
Are we surprised?
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised whatsoever.
I love it. At 157, he's representing Iowa. What better way? They're in Iowa colors. I don't know if Angelo had much of a choice, did he?
If it was a draft of all Iowa wrestlers, not all, but lots of Iowa wrestlers, I see him drafting majority of them, if not all of them.
Murin, here's an interesting fact, two-time Pennsylvania high school state champion. Wow. Y'all think of Iowa, that's a PA boy. I'm a PA boy. Some people say the greatest wrestling in the world is out of the state of Pennsylvania.
You see Iowa getting a lot of Pennsylvania wrestlers. Is there a secret mix in there and how they're getting them?
Oh, there's a secret. We're not spilling it, though.
Max Murin, one of my favorite all-time wrestlers to watch. He's a go-getter. Coming up short a few times, finally gets it done at the NCAA tournament. I absolutely love watching him wrestle. Obviously, at George Mason, he's a coach now. He's been coaching for a little bit. Does that make a difference in how he's going to lead this team? You know what I mean? Angelo, his GM. Now we have him on the team. Does he help coach? What do you think happens here?
Well, he's still young, too. Only 26 years old. You can see a future with him in this league, Claw Wrestling League. But this is the end of the third round, folks. It was a great pick. Angelo is going to start the fourth round as well. But first, we're going to go back to Shane Sparks.
An exciting third round here at the inaugural CLAW Draft. Here inside Harris Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Want to remind you, tomorrow, rounds 5 through 8, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Setting things up for the event in October. And then Super Duel 1, that'll be wrestled end of November in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Again, want to thank all those in attendance and those watching us live on X and on YouTube and on Flow Wrestling. There's a look at Zach Elam. He went earlier in the draft. Coming up, it is round 4. It's the inaugural CLAW Draft here from Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's madness, and we love it. Who saw that coming, Mike? Boom, boom, boom. The scoreboard is exhausted.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking about our honeymoon.
What about Africa? Safari.
Hot air balloon ride.
Swim with elephants.
Wait, can we afford a safari?
Great question. Like everything, takes a little planning.
Or put the money towards a down payment?
On a ranch.
In Montana?
With horses.
Let's take a look at those scenarios.
JP Morgan Wealth Management has advisors in Chase branches and tools like Wealth Plan to help keep you on track. When you're planning for it all, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
Back in Atlantic City, New Jersey, 2025 CLAW Draft. And the 19th pick is in, the final pick of the night for the Leopards.
Announcing the next selection is Ty Beyer, wrestler at Freedom High School in South Riding, Virginia.
With the 19th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Leopards select Kennedy Monday.
Kennedy Monday, 27 years old, 184 pounds, a two-time Texas high school state champion, two-time NCAA qualifier at North Carolina, and recently sixth at the U.S. Open. Kennedy Monday, 19th overall pick to the Leopards. Congratulations, Kennedy. What's it like hearing your name introduced to the crowd, being drafted in the inaugural CLAW Draft?
Definitely. First and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You know, I wouldn't be here without him, and it just feels amazing. It's a dream come true.
You look at your family, of course, your father, an Olympic champion, your brother, Quincy. What was it like growing up, if you can't put into words what the sport of wrestling meant to you growing up in that house?
Yeah, just following my dad's footsteps. You know, I've always looked up to him. You know, people know he's an Olympic champion, so it's an easy guideline to follow, and I just love the sport, love everyone who's supported me since day one, and my dad's been there, you know, through thick and thin. So,
congratulations. Nice to see you. Kennedy Monday, 19th overall pick by the Leopards. The Hammers are on the clock. And Tom Houck is ready to announce the Hammer selection.
Announcing the next selection is Logan Nabel, United States Air Force, based in McGuire Air Force Base in Wrightstown, New Jersey, and a new fan of the Hammers.
With the 20th pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Hammers select Lennox Wallach.
Lennox Wallach, 24 years old, 184 pounds, three-time NCAA qualifier and EIWA champion in 2024, an All-American in 2024 for Columbia, a sixth-place finish. The Hammers, with the 20th overall pick in the draft, select Lennox Wallach. The Enforcers are on the clock. Moving right along, Enforcers have made their selection.
With the 21st pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Enforcers select Reese Humphrey.
Reese Humphrey, two-time NCAA All-American and NCAA Finals for the Buckeyes of Ohio State on the freestyle scene, a three-time U.S. Open champion, a three-time USA World Team member. He's a two-time veteran world champion, 38 years old. He's currently coaching at the NJRTC. Reese, I love this pick. I mean, you always bring it, whether you're rapping, doing flips off a bridge, wrestling at 38 years old. This sport is clearly in your blood. What do you love about just the competition of this great sport?
Hey, anything to grow the sport. And so I was picked a little bit later than expected, but these guys don't know. And I definitely still got a little bit left in the tank, and I'm going to show you guys in October.
The combination of rules with freestyle and folk style makes you extremely dangerous. When I think of Reese Humphrey, and I think I speak for many of us, I'm thinking about slickness. I'm thinking about speed. I'm thinking freestyle. But you told us in the pre-show you are all about the top wrestling and imposing your will with that top game. Speak more about that.
Yep, so they don't call me Highlight Humphrey for no reason. So I got a couple of highlights for my top game, and then, of course, you're going to see some upper body stuff when we are on our feet. So let's go.
I cannot wait to watch you in October competing at CLAW. Congratulations, Reese Humphrey, the selection here at the CLAW Draft. And the pick is in as you hear the chime for the Matt Kings.
With the 22nd pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, the Matt Kings select Marcus Coleman.
Marcus Coleman, 26 years old, at 199 pounds. Great career for the Cyclones of Iowa State. Five-time Big 12 championship placer, five-time NCAA qualifier, and a two-time All-American for Iowa State in 2022 and 2023. The chaos is now on the clock.
Marcus Coleman finally off the board, Dom. All he had to do was beat up on Russia earlier today to get drafted. I don't know. He's at the 199-pound weight class. What are your thoughts here?
A little later than expected. If I'm being honest, I thought Marcus Coleman was going to be up there at the top. You know, wrestling absolutely phenomenal right now. Two-time All-American. It can't get much better than that. I'm excited to see what he does and how he wrestles in the CLAW.
Well, with that pick going in the fourth round, I mean, you can make the case if at 199 Marcus Coleman delivers, that could be the steal pick of the entire draft. I mean, you can make that case if he shows up and delivers. We'll have to find out. Chaos now on the clock here with their final fourth round pick.
CLAW co-founder Eric Brugel.
With the 23rd pick in the 2025 CLAW Draft, Chaos selects Alan Hart.
Alan Hart, 26 years old, 145 pounds, a four-time NCAA qualifier for Brian Smith and the Tigers of Missouri. Reached the blood round twice in 2021 and 2023. And a 2024 CLAW Invitational champion. Alan Hart's 23rd overall pick to the Chaos. The Cicadas, final pick of the night in this fourth round. Caden Henschel and the Cradle City Cicadas now on the clock.
Alan Hart finally off the board, Dom. I had him as my number one ranked 145-pounder. That's crazy. Let's look at some of the best available here remaining in the draft. Dakota Gear, Luke Serber, Tommy Askey, Chip Ness. Talk about some of these, Dom.
Moshe Swartz, Zach Sherman, and John Ernesti, if I'm pronouncing it right. Absolute hammers. Chip Ness obviously wrestled in it last year. We still have some studs up top. Luke Serber, Tom Askey, Minnesota. I don't know where we go. It's still so deep, and we're starting to see where those weight classes fill in, who could help out who on which team.
Caden Henschel now on the clock to make the final pick of the fourth round and the final pick of today. Folks, there are 4 more rounds after this to fill out these teams. And like you mentioned, man, that's the meat and the bones. That's what builds these teams. That's happening tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern on BEG Wrestling. Come watch that. But Caden's got to close this night out strong. He started it strong with Zane. Let's see if he can close it strong with his final pick.
He's building an overall really, really great team. We are going to see how he finishes off today. I'm so excited, and I don't know where he's going to go from here.
Final pick of the 4th round, folks. Let's go see who it is.
The pick is in. Our final selection of the night. Once again, Tom Houck with the Cicada selection.
With the 24th pick in the 2025 Claw Draft, the Cicadas select C.J. Brucky.
C.J. Brucky, 30 years old, two-time NCAA qualifier at Central Michigan, college record of 96-40, placed twice at the U.S. Open. C.J. Brucky, the 24th pick to the Cicadas.
C.J. Brucky.
And down to the BEG table once again with Zach and Dom.
C.J. Brucky, Dom, makes history by being the final wrestler drafted in the CLAW Inaugural Draft. Here he goes as the final pick in the 4th round. That's a great by Caden. He's putting his team together, Dom. What do you think about this draft?
CJ brings the energy, another Central Michigan alum. I love to see it. He's from my hometown, so I'm going to love this guy no matter what. Grew up with him. It's going to be awesome to see him wrestle. I'm absolutely excited.
That's going to wrap it up for tonight, folks. Let's go back to Shane Sparks for some final thoughts here.
All right, here with Scott Sentis, one of the co-GMs of the Mad Kings. How do you feel about your team?
I'm really excited. You know, me and Billy Baldwin, we went at it a couple times. Some of the times I sided with him. Sometimes I just had to make the choice myself. But I'm really happy with the team. I think we got an exciting lineup.
What are you most excited about when you look at the group of talent you have?
I think I got guys that can pin, guys that can put up a lot of points. And this business and this, production, it's going to be about scoring points.
You recently stepped down from your position at Campbell, where you did a phenomenal job, another opportunity with Wrestlers in Business. And, Scotty, you are all about promoting the sport. What do you think about this CLAW Draft?
I've never seen anything like it. I think we need to have some way to engage the fans. We need teams that we can stand behind that aren't just college programs. And CLAW offers all of that.
Great to have you involved in this. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. It's been a great night. Let's send it back down once again to Zach and Dom at the BEG table.
It's been an incredible night tonight, Dom. That concludes the first 4 rounds of the CLAW Wrestling Draft. What are your overall thoughts? And let's maybe take a look at some of these rosters up to this point.
It went by too fast. Cicadas absolutely starting off first with that pick. I think they had a phenomenal draft. Zane, Tristan, Demetrius, and CJ. That's a great team right there.
That's a very solid team led by Caden Henschel. He's got to be happy.
Next, we're going to look at Chaos here.
Draft picks.
What do you think about them?
Let's go ahead and look at Team Chaos roster. Mike Machiavello. Love him there. Jared J. Hughes, Tyler Warner, and Alan Hart. Alan Hart. That could be the steal.
Can I be honest? I think this is a sleeper team right here. Based off their draft picks, I think a lot of people are not looking at their name. But let's continue on.
Mike Mock delivers, and if Alan Hart pulls his weight, that could be a top contending team. Moving on to the Matt Kings roster, we have Matt Stencil. That was the first round surpriser. Mohammed McBride, Jonathan Milner, and Marcus Coleman.
The more and more I look at that team, it looks just absolutely awesome to me. Enforcers up next. We got Peyton Hall, Caleb Smith, Chris Boca, and Reese Humphrey. Where are we at with this?
Wow, Peyton Hall, I get that. Caleb Smith. Chris Boca, to me, is the surprise. And Reese Humphrey, did you see Reese Humphrey earlier? He's 38 years old. You would not know he's 38 years old. He had more energy than anyone else in his room.
Unreal.
It's going to be great for that team.
It's going to be great. Let's see what the Hammers have cooking for them. Nate Jackson, Ian Barker, Brock Muller, and Lennox Wolak.
Wolak going in the 4th round is an absolute shocker to me. I had mentioned I had him as my #1 ranked 184-pounder. If you look at this roster, Anthony Robles and Wolak delivers. This could be a great team.
Wow, Leopards up next. And let's see what they are cooking with. I think Angelo had a phenomenal draft.
I loved Angelo's first 2 picks. Let's take a look at the remaining of his first 4 picks. Zach Elam, Eric Barnett, and Max Murin, and Kennedy Monday. I didn't have a chance to talk about Kennedy Monday. I love Kennedy Monday. He's long, he's lanky, and he might have some advantages in this claw-style league that other wrestlers might not necessarily have.
I totally agree with you. What an awesome draft. I'm so excited. Thank you for being here today with me. I had an absolute blast.
Dom, you've been even more impressive than ever before I've ever seen you. I want to thank you. This has been a fun night, folks. I had a lot of fun. If you were not here, folks, you missed it. You missed out on the Claw Party. But you can join the remainder of the action tomorrow night on BEGs. Let's go back to Shane Sparks.
Guys, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun tonight. Appreciate you guys down getting your insights there at the BEG table. For reactions to tonight's drafts, profiles on your favorite wrestlers, and all your team news, follow Claw on social media at Claw_Wrestling. As Zach said, we're back at it tomorrow, rounds 5 through 8. BEG podcast with Zach and Dom. We hope you tune in tomorrow. 4 rounds in the book tonight. 24 wrestlers heard their name called. Rounds 5 through 8 tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. It's been a great night. History begins. This has been the Claw Inaugural Wrestling Draft. For Zach Beaver and Dom Zacconi, along with our Claw production crew, I'm Shane Sparks saying so long from Atlantic City, New Jersey. This has been a presentation of Claw Wrestling.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking about our honeymoon. What about Africa, safari, hot air balloon ride, swim with elephants?
Wait,
can we afford a safari?
great question. Like everything, takes a little planning.
Or put the money towards a down payment?
On a ranch?
In Montana?
With horses?
Let's take a look at those scenarios.
JP Morgan Wealth Management has advisors in Chase branches and tools like Wealth Plan to help keep you on track. When you're planning for it all, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.